China does.
Has got us on rare earth minerals, which we need to power consumer electronics, iPhones, everything. Rare earth minerals, EV whatever, so many different things. We're like, yeah, but we won't buy your cooking oil. Not great. It's not good, okay? I'll just put it that way.
Much smarter than we are. I mean, they planned, when Emily and I covered this, we were talking about Arnaud's thread where he's talking about like one of the vulnerabilities China actually had was on helium, which is like something you wouldn't necessarily think of, but they're very dependent on us for helium. And so over years, they were like, we're gonna make sure we're not dependent on them for helium, so that if push comes to shove, we can take some actions like, we're not going to send you rare earth minerals anymore, and they will have limited ways that they can retaliate. So they did all that planning in advance. Meanwhile, Besson's comments about like, oh, it's the world versus China. You all picked a
The helium example is a very good one, because that's literally like we had, and that's why I said we're completely cooked, is because we had certain things over them. And that's why China is acting out now, is because they have found ways to circumvent. They feel like they are, and rightfully so, like they have, okay, we've found ways to work around any sort of deficiencies that we had in our supply chain. So now we're on strong footing, and that's why we can lash out against you now, because we don't rely on you for any of those sorts of things. So that's why I say, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And we've happily just farmed it out around the globe and said, oh yeah, you can take care of this. You can have all the rare earth minerals. And then we find ourselves in the situation that we're in. And it's not just consumer electronics. By the way, a lot of those things are necessary for military applications, like bombs, putting chips into, microchips into missiles for guidance. All of these things, if for planes, you think a jet doesn't use any of those things that China has scooped up and that we no longer have flowing into us? Like, that's where it's just, like, I don't understand the direction that we have taken on this. And they never, in my opinion, the government should never have allowed companies to essentially take part in globalization, because it allows us to be fully reliant on other countries, which is absolutely awful. And like I said before, you don't have to look any further than COVID to realize what a problem that actually is.